Today we are going to discuss letter writing. There are two types of letter, formal letter, informal letter. So two types of letters. First is formal, second is informal. Now, what is a formal letter? A formal letter is one which is usually written for some request, permission, or complaint to someone whom we do not know personally. Underline this word, to someone whom we do not know personally. So if we do not know someone, so there we are writing formal letter. Now, types of formal letters: business letters, complaint letters, application letters, letters to the head of an institution, and letters to the editors. All these type of letters are known as formal letters. Now, what is an informal letter? So an informal letter is written to our friends, relatives, and neighbors. And it could be Thanksgiving letter, advising letter, asking for favor, describing or narrating an incident, or conveying condolence. These all could be the type of informal letter. So in this, we are going to discuss everything about formal letter. In this video, I have explained the format, all the details of formal letters. So now we will discuss the format. So what are the format of formal letter? Now, as you can see here, sender's name and the address at the top. Sender's name and the address means your name and your address, because you are sending a letter. So your name, sender's address, you are the sender, so your name and the address, complete address. After that, we'll have to write date in the format which I have mentioned here, like 30th November 2020. After that, you will have to write receiver's address. Receiver's address means to whom you are sending a letter. To whom you are sending a letter, it means that person address, receiver's address. After that, leave a line and then write subject. Subject, okay, always remember subject should be very short and to the point. Like for some of the examples that I have mentioned here, given here, like a request to build a sports complex, complaint regarding nuisance of hawkers, permission for participation in quiz competition, wanton cutting of trees, and there are many more. There could be many more subjects, right? It all depends on what type of formal letter that you are writing, right? So after subject, leave one line and then write reference. Reference, if any, means if your formal letter requires that reference to be mentioned in that letter, then only use a reference. Now, what are the things that we can mention here in the reference? In a reference, generally we write the source from where you got to know about any job or some offer which you wish to apply for. For example, your advertisement in the Times of India dated 30th November 2020. Now, let's suppose if you are applying for a job in a school or in any company or any government institution, then you should use a reference. Like, sir, I have seen your advertisement in Times of India dated 30th November 2020 and I wish to apply for this particular job. Okay, whatsoever the thing that you could mention here. But if it is not required, do not use a reference. Now, after that, salutation. Salutation means greet. How we are going to greet. So salutation also I have mentioned here. In salutation, we are using respected principal and teachers. For principal, if you are writing a letter to the principal, then we will use a respected principal, or if you are writing a letter to the teacher, then we will use a respected teacher. So respected principal or teacher, this salutation can be used to address your principal or teacher. Otherwise, dear sir or madam. Dear sir or madam, this salutation is for seeking permission or for any complaint letter or addressing an editor. But let's suppose you, instead of dear sir or madam, if you have mentioned respected sir or madam, there's nothing wrong in that. Okay, you will not lose mark for that. Okay, we can use this salutation as well, respected sir or ma'am. Now after that, after salutation, that greeting part will start body. Now our body must consist of 3 paragraphs. First paragraph introduction, second paragraph content, and third paragraph conclusion. Now in first paragraph, as I have mentioned here, in first paragraph must contain your introduction and the purpose of writing letters. Now the second paragraph must have all the details and the suggestion. Now third paragraph should be for summarizing, pleading, or asking for favor with a positive note. Like, I'm sure you will do the needful. And after third paragraph, you can use like thanking you in anticipation. So these all are the things that you can mention there in the body part. And after that, you need to write your sincerely or truly. Okay, one more important thing. If you are writing a letter to the principal or the teacher, then you should write yours obediently for principal or teacher, and for others you can use yours sincerely or truly. And after that, you need to write your full name. Your full name means your first name and the surname. Do not mention only your first name. You please write your first name and the surname. And after that, enclosure, if you have any. For example, just now we have discussed, like if you are applying for a job, so there what are the enclosures that we can use. So as you can see here, I have written, for example, in enclosure, what we can write: a copy of 10th certificate, a copy of 12th certificate, or a photograph of mine. These are the things that you have enclosed with the letter. So that thing you could mention there in enclosures. But again, I am advising you that if your letter, read the questions very carefully. If your letter requires, if your letter demands to use reference and enclosure, then only use. Otherwise, please do not use reference and enclosures everywhere in the formal letter. Okay. So the format I have explained you, and all the things, like what are the things that we need to write and how that we have understood. Now what is important to note, that is, read the questions of the formal letter very carefully, as it may have lot of important information which you have to use in your letters. While writing the letter, you can use all those important information. Okay, so one example that I have given here, that you please read this question very carefully and just try to understand that what the question demands, right, and how this answer is written. So this is the first question, and the answer is also given here. So just check the answer and see the format, right, and see the format, how beautifully this format we have arranged, and the content, and how we have enclosed everything. So with this example, you will have a good idea about how to write a letter, right? That's the end of formal letter. In the next video, I'll discuss informal letters. Thank you so much. Bye bye and take care.